wherever you're joining us from, and welcome back to today's session. And welcome to Nigeria M365 community, where we talk about everything of its 365, enterprise mobility, and security, as well as Windows 365. So today we'll continue with our session on the Microsoft Purview. And today we have an amazing guest that is joining us today. Awesome. So let me just go into it. So my name is Emmanuel Itoje. I'll be your host today. I'm a digital transformation professional with experience in infrastructure, cloud services, and productivity applications. So with a focus on enabling businesses using technologies to optimize organization strategy. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and I have a couple of other Microsoft certifications. So our housekeeping rule remains the same. So this session is currently being recorded and it's been made available for future viewing. So in case you have people that couldn't join us, they will have access to the recording to actually go through the recording. And as usual, or we always advise that you actually please kindly keep your mic on mute when you're not talking. And if you do have questions, kindly use the Q&A session or just pen it down somewhere. There'll be a time for Q&A where you'll be able to ask your questions. You can also use the chat room as well, drop your questions as well. Now we have a Twitter handle at NGM365. Please do follow us. Then we have a LinkedIn page as well where we also drop our updates about our events. Please follow us. I'll be dropping that in the chat in the course of today's meetup. Then we have our YouTube channel as well, where we actually upload all our recordings. So please do visit the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, share with as many that will be interested in these technologies that we are discussing. And also we do value your feedback. So if you do have any feedback from us for us from the beginning of the year till now, anything you think you can improve on, we actually appreciate the feedback. You can use our WhatsApp group, drop the feedback. The leadership are actually monitoring the room. Then we also have a feedback forms that we share as well. Please feel free to drop your feedback for us. Thank you so much. And today I'm going to be introducing our speaker today. Her name is Vivian Okpala. So Vivian is actually a senior cloud solution architect who helps organizations to optimize their digital environment so that they can enhance collaborations, productivity, and innovations using Microsoft 365 tools. So she's actually a Microsoft cyber security architect, a Microsoft Teams voice engineer expert, a messaging administrator, a security administrator, a Teams administrator, also an Azure security engineer, then a Microsoft certified trainer as well. So we are actually lucky to have Vivian join us today. Hi, Vivian. How are you doing today?
Hi, Emmanuel. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Do you mind turning on your camera? Let people see you, then you can turn it off after.
Okay. All right. Hello.
Awesome. Hi. Good to
Hi.
see you. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing you actually. We've been
Oh,
chatting.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've not actually seen you, even on Teams, just chat on WhatsApp. It has been chat. So, it's actually a privilege to actually see your beautiful face today, live right here. So, how have
All
you
right.
been?
Thank
How
you.
have you been?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome,
I'm good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before I jump to the backstage, I would like to ask just two questions. First, how is your day-to-day like and as a cloud solution architect? Would you like to walk us through maybe in 1 minute?
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, so my day to day, like the activities as a senior cloud solutions architect is we assist organizations in leveraging on Microsoft 365 tools, both Microsoft 365 security tools and the rest of it. So we also help to understand the goal of every organization before we then push in the tools in maybe Microsoft 365 that would actually benefit them as well, and many much more.
Awesome, awesome. My second question, what should the participants of today's session look forward to in today's session?
Okay, so for today, I think the last session we had, the last speaker talked about some parts in the Microsoft Purview. So I would continue with it. So I'm just going to mainly talk about the DLP, communication compliance, information barrier, e-discovery, insiders, risks, and record management.
Awesome, awesome. I look forward to it. I'm sure the audience are excited. So, guys, if you're excited, can you use your reaction in the Teams chats? If you're excited, looking forward to this session, please use your reactions. You can use a clap, heart, or thumbs up. Just use something awesome. Also, I can see some reaction. All right, Vivian, I'll be going to the backstage so you can have the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know when it's visible. Yeah.
I can
Is
see your
my
screen. Yes, I can
okay?
see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So hello everyone. So I'll be going through, like I said, I'll be going through some other compliance, some other topics on Microsoft Purview that has not been treated. So I'm going to start with communication compliance. Then I would move over to data loss prevention, e-discovery, information barrier, insider risks, and records management. So because of the amount of time we have, there are some policies that have already been implemented. So I'll just show you how that policy is created, and I'll then show you how it works so that you can see not just creating the policy, you can also see how this policy works for day-to-day business. So let's start with communication compliance, or let's start with what compliance is all about. So compliance is about helping organizations manage their data, and also in accordance to various laws and regulations, and also internal policies. So we have various organizations that really take compliance as one of their topmost priority, while um, some organizations don't really bother about it. They mostly focus more on maybe security, endpoint security, and etc. But we also have various organizations that actually take their compliance level to as a top priority in their organization. So moving forward, so basically, I know data classification has been taught, but I'm going to be using most of the policies we're going to be setting. We're going to be using trainable classifiers and also sensitive info types. So let me just give a run through on what this is all about, so that when I'm using it to set the policies, it is more clearer. So what are sensitive info types? So sensitive info types example are like our financial data. For example, in terms of financial data, we're talking about credit card numbers, bank account numbers, Swift codes, ABA routing numbers, and more. Then also another example of sensitive information are PII, which is called the personal identification identifier information, which are passport numbers, driver license numbers, NIN, social security number, and those personal information that we do not want um, outsiders to actually have hold on, because if they have hold on those informations, it might be a disaster for us. And also we have another example of sensitive info types like health information, we have the health insurance number, medical record numbers, and etc. So then what are trainable classifiers? So trainable classifiers is just like you're teaching a person to recognize different types of fruits. I'm just using this as an example so that it's be more clearer. Like you're teaching someone to recognize different types of fruits by showing them examples. And the trainable classifiers would then learn to recognize these different types of fruits in a way. So once you show it what to look for, it learns it and find similar things on its own. So it learns that, okay, this is apple. So when you've taught it how to look for apple, you don't need to teach it again to look for apple. It would then go through that process on its own without you teaching it any longer. So I just wanted to talk about it because, like I said, we're going to be using most of these policies to, we're going to be using most of these classifiers to create policies. So what are communication compliance? Well, communication compliance helps organizations to also monitor and also help to regulate the communications of their employees to ensure that they go according to company policies, or they don't go according to, they don't maybe harass, they don't harass employees, or maybe there's any form of inappropriate conduct or data leakage. So with this communication compliance, it would help detect those things from users collaboration tool. And once the admin is detected, then according to the policy set by the organization based on this information, then the person would be queried. So it's just more like this communication compliance would help to more like a watchful eye over the emails, your chats, your teams, and it helps to communicate, monitor all these platforms so that it would detect and mitigate policy violations. So enough of the talk, let's go into action. To create a communication compliance, all you need to do is just to go to communication compliance. And there are several templates. We all know that Microsoft likes providing templates, making life easy for us though, but we have several templates, and also you can customize policy. So you can, if you want to detect inappropriate content, you can use this. Detect inappropriate text, detect inappropriate images, sensitive info types. Remember what I talked about with regards to sensitive info types and etc. Or you want to create your own custom policy. So I created inappropriate images, inappropriate text, and detect financial secrets. So they're already logs created. So I'll just show you how it looks like, but I'll create one. Maybe let's just create one policy. So we're going to create a custom policy. So you can give this a name of your choice, what name you choose to give, and description. You know why descriptions are important, so that if another admin comes into the organization, they should understand what the policy is all about. Then you choose your users. So do you want to specify it to maybe specific users, or you want all users to, you want this to apply to all users? And also reviewers, who should you assign your reviewer? So I'll be assigning my MOD administrator as a reviewer. So your Microsoft 365 locations, where do you want to for Microsoft 365 locations, where do you want to target? So we're targeting Exchange, we are targeting Teams, and we are targeting Viva Engage. So you go over to click next. So if you have non-Microsoft apps like WhatsApp, Slack, and you've created them as you've added them as a connector, or if you've added them here, then you can also do that. You can also detect information from there. Then you specify conditions. So what's the condition? So once this is detected, what are the conditions in place? So we are saying that content matches, or what should the condition be? We are going to use content contains any of these sensitive info types. We can use any other one. We can use message contains any of these words. We can use words. We can use none of these words. We can use receive from a particular domain. So you can try out all of this to see, but I'm going to be using content contains any of these sensitive info types. So I'm going to be choosing credit card info types. Okay. So once you choose this, make sure your percentage is 100 so that you can get all amount of detection that comes from this policy. Then click next and you then create your policy. Once you create your policy, then the policy will be created. So it takes about some few hours before it activates. Like for me, it took about, I think almost 5 to 6 hours, or even, I don't know, because I just created it and I just let it go. So it took a lot of hours before this policy was created. Am I audible, please? Can everyone
Yes,
hear me?
yes, you are. We can hear you. We can also
Okay.
see your screen. Yeah.
All right. So this is the inappropriate images. So let's say, for instance, someone in the organization decided to send an inappropriate image from here. So this user Theo sent an inappropriate gory image to MOD administrator. So this is communication compliance in work. So looking at the logs, you can see that there's one log that was initiated because an inappropriate image was sent. So it reviews the sender, reviews the recipient, and you then be able to see the image that was sent. So with this, you can then proceed in whatever that is necessary in order to maybe confirm why this was sent or whatever, according to your rules and regulation in your organization. So that was one policy that was created, inappropriate images. And if you remember, when creating the policy, you can just use the detect inappropriate image. So it's left for you to choose. If you want to use a template, you can. Then another detection we had here was detect financial risks. So let's go through the policy and see how it looks like. So this was a custom policy that I created. Specified all users. We're choosing all users, and also, like I said, you have to specify the reviewers. Then the Microsoft 365 locations, Exchange, Teams, Viva. You can choose if you want to limit it to Exchange or Teams, you can do that. Then the next, I choose, instead of choosing content contains any of these sensitive info types, I chose contents message contains any of these words. So the words are secrets and secrets. So that means if anyone is sending an email and this word is there, let it detect it. So I chose my review percentage, which is 100%. I click next, and that was the policy. So let's check the logs and see what it detected. So it detected 3 emails that I sent with the word secrets. So I sent an email to an external person with the word secret, and it detected it when this was sent. And also I sent a word with which includes secrets, and it's to someone internally, and this was what it's also provided. So if you create all of these policies, just be assured that you get all these logs. You get all of this in place, like you get all these logs. So we also have alerts. If there are alerts matching the policy, you can actually see all of this here. Then you see the reports. You see, okay, inappropriate email, like in a graphical representation, you would see all of it here. So that's that for communication compliance. So moving forward to data loss prevention policy. So what's data loss prevention policy all about as well? So with data loss prevention policy, it helps organizations to prevent the maybe accidental or intentional sharing of information. So it's more like it gives you a set of rules and guides you from and guides users, or let's say guides, or let's say, yeah, protects the users as well, or protects sensitive data in the organization from being shared outside the organization, whether it is by mistake or maybe someone is trying to leak data outside of the organization. So that's what data loss prevention does. So I know maybe some of us might be saying, okay, what's now the difference between data loss prevention and communication compliance, because they are quite similar. But for communication compliance, the focus is more on the ethical and also legal aspect of communication content, while for DLP, it's centered around the security and also management of sensitive data. So those are the two differences. And with that, you should be able to understand that these two are actually different. So for creating a data loss prevention policy, we have overview, which gives you an overview of what it's all about, if you read through it. And then you have the policies. So this is where you create your policies. And if you can remember, I said that we would be using trainable classifiers and also sensitive info types in creating all of these policies. So to create a data DLP for short, you first click on create policy, and we also have different categories, so based on what you want, or you can customize. So we have the financial category, which shows you regulations, like different financial data, like we have the Australia financial data, Canada financial data, we have the US, UK, and Japan, and the rest. So you can either choose any of this. We also have the medical and health. So we are preventing users from sending any information that is maybe like sorry, medical numbers, or all of those things that is relating to all the regulations, things they're not supposed to actually send based on the regulations in different countries. Or we have the personal identification number, which you're not supposed to send, like maybe in Canada, you're not supposed to send a social security number to someone. So all these things are applicable to mostly financial industries, law firms, and some medical industries, all these industries that are particular about um, users' personal information. So we're going to be creating a custom policy, and we click on custom policy, and then click next. So you give a name. So let's just leave the name, and you give a description to understand, so that you can understand what the policy is all about. And then if you have an admin unit, you can choose it. For me, I do not. Then you choose where this policy you want to apply, where you want to apply the policies to. So I'm going to be applying it to my Exchange, my SharePoint, my OneDrive, Teams chat, devices, Defender for clouds. And if I have an on-prem repositories, I can also apply to it. That means if I have maybe like on-prem Exchange servers and all, I can also apply this to it. Then I click next, and I click on create and customize advanced DLP rules. So I create a rule. I give my rule name, then I give a condition. So we are applying this policy to this content that matches this condition. So what is the condition? What is the particular thing that it should match? So I'm using sensitive info types, like I said, and I'm going to be using credit card number. So I like using credit card number because most times it always gives me a lot of logs when I maybe impute a master, because for credit card numbers it has to be either MasterCard, Visa card, American Express, and some other examples. So most times it's always very easy to detect when you use credit card as a sensitive info type. So you can put as much as you want either ways. Then your action. So if this is detected, what happens? So you can restrict access or encrypt the contents in Microsoft 365 locations. So that means you're saying that you can restrict access to that document, or you can encrypt the contents. So any of which. So you can also audit or restricted activities. You can audit or restricted activities when users access sensitive sites. You can audit or restrict activities on the device. You can restrict third-party apps. You can restrict access or remove on-premises files. So I'd go for the first one. I want to restrict access to that content once my DLP policy, which is any content that contains credit card number, my action should be, I'm talking about the DLP policy, not me. So the action should be block everyone that has access to that file. If I want to, maybe anybody that has access to this file, I want to block everybody, or I will block only people outside my organization. So if maybe people, maybe for example, I shared a document to someone that has Visa cards, they have credit card numbers in it. I shared it to an external person. I also shared it to internal person. If I say block only people outside my organization, that means I'm saying I'm blocking only external people that I shared the documents with. So that means those people will not be able to access the documents. But if I say block everyone, I'm blocking both internal and external people at the same time. So I'll be blocking everyone. Then I want users to be able to get notifications when this is done so that they can understand what is happening or what is going on. I'm going to show you everything that's, yes, all these things, all the rules that I've set. I'm going to show you how it works. Then you can allow overrides. So if you want users to still be able to override this policy on that document, you can actually do that as well. Okay. Yeah, so you can do that as well. I don't know why this is graded out yet. Okay. Yeah, so you can actually do that as well. You can allow overrides as well. So if you want to send email alerts to maybe concerning this issue to maybe some specific people, if you have maybe admins in the organization you want to specifically send it to, you can. And you choose your admin reports. I'm going to choose it as low or maybe high or medium. Let's choose high. Then you can send alert every time an activity matches this rule. Every single time you can actually, or you can specify maybe instances is equal to, maybe if it's done twice or 3 times, you can specify it here. So once you're done, you just click on save and your policy is created. Then you click on next. So do you want to run this? No, I don't want to. I want to turn this policy on immediately. So you click on submit. So this is how you create your DLP policy. Okay, so there is a compliance name. Okay, whatever. So this is how you create your DLP policy. So it's telling me that there's a name already called the same thing. So I will just, so that's how you create your DLP policy. And so using this one as an example of the same thing I just created, let me show you. So this is a custom policy, and I used protect credit card numbers from being shared. And my target was Exchange email, OneDrive. And credit card information contains sensitive information. Content is shared from, like I explained. So this is only with people inside my organization. That's if content is shared from people inside my organization. And what should be done: notify users with email and policy tips, restrict access to that content, and also send alerts to administrators. I turned on the policy and that was it. Now let's look at the logs. So these are matching policies. So according to what I created, so these are matching policies that match the DLP policy I created. So it was able to match a policy that was there is a document on a user's OneDrive that has credit card numbers listed inside of it. So what it does is it gives you more information, more insight on which so it gives you more insight on which user this is. Yeah, so for example, yes, it's saying that this user Ligu location OneDrive has matching policy for this. So it's showing the events. So there is sensitive info found in Contoso purchasing permissions. So let's look for one that I have the account signed in. This journey. So as you can see, all these are matching according to what the policies I set. These are the matching events. So we're going to use Diego. Diego also had the same issue. So then I was able to detect that this was the OneDrive file that the policy detected. So this was the file that that had all the information. So let's check it out. So as you can see here, the file has card type and card credit number, credit card number. So that means the policy I set, remember the policy I set states that um, any information that any sensitive info types that has the credit card number in any location like OneDrive, Teams, and the rest, that it should detect it. So that was what it did. It didn't only detect it. Remember, our policy also states that you should block access to every user. So this is what it did. So as you can see here, it's saying access to this item is blocked. It conflicts with a policy in your organization. So this is the full policy. So it's saying that the issue is the item contains the following sensitive information, credit card number, and also item has following label, PII retention policy. And also item is shared with with people within your organization. So these are the issues. So remember I said you can override, and in my other policy which I created, it allowed me to click on it allowed me to check the override button. And once you click on override, it then provides you with a screen to give you you'd give the business justification, and then it will be sent to the admin. So this is what happens when the DLP policy is being detected. All right, so the user itself also, this is the notification the user gets. This item is protected by the policy in your organization. Access to this item is blocked for everyone except its owner, last modifier, and the site owner. So access to this, blah, 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 detect issues from data loss prevention. Item contains the following sensitive information, credit card number, US bank account number, and that was it. So this is a notification the user gets based on the policy we set. Remember we set that the user should also get a notification, and this is it. So it has blocked access to every single person that have access to this, and the item, as you can see here, the item is not shared. So it has typically, the policy has actually blocked this document. So so you see more alerts concerning the same policy that has been created based on credit card. So any document that has credit card details, all of it would come here. So that means you as the admin, you'll be able to see, okay, files that have credit card details and how whatever action you want to go through, you can go through it. So if you want to release the file, you can do that or not. So going over to Activity Explorer. So with Activity Explorer, it's not just going to give you, okay, I've been waiting for this. Okay, so also for DLP, no, this matched because I can remember I tried to. So the thing about logs, it comes. So I tried to. What I did was I tried sending for Teams. So this is DLP working on Teams. I tried sending a list of credit card details from Theo to Vivian. So I sent like card type, credit card number, and the DLP was able to match it, saying that this happened. Theo, which is the user, was trying to send sensitive info type, which is credit card numbers, to receiver, which is Vivian. So it's not just limited to OneDrive. You can also see it work on Teams as well. So moving forward, let's move over to eDiscovery. So I don't know if I can ask if there's any question, because I like asking if there's any question so that I can be able to answer.
Hi guys,
Emmanuel.
do you have any question so far?
Yes, I
Yep.
do. So, Vivian, thank you. So I wanted to ask, is it possible for one to create, well, when you were showing the template for credit card, is it possible for someone to create their own custom template and probably maybe, because the one you selected is from Microsoft, I guess. I think that's an example. But when I'm creating my policies and I probably want to define the template, which will require me to do some form of regular expression for the credit card. Is it possible for one to do that?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can do that as well. So the reason why I'm just using the template so that it will be quite straightforward, but you can use regular expressions as well to create your DLP policy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So any other question before I move forward?
You have question, you can just signify and ask a question. I think we can move forward with you.
All right. So we are moving to eDiscovery. Okay, so what is eDiscovery all about? So we have eDiscovery standard and also the premium. The premium is more advanced, so I will just focus more on the standard. So what is eDiscovery all about? So with eDiscovery, it's more like it's a tool designed to actually help organizations find, also help in preserving, and also help in reviewing electronic information for either legal, compliance, and governance purposes. So with eDiscovery, you can maybe like it's in a scenario whereby there is a legal case or maybe there's an investigation ongoing on a particular employee, and you want to maybe you want to identify some maybe emails that's been sent from the employee, or you'd want to hold the email so that even if the employee decides to delete whatever data they want to delete, still the emails will still be intact. So with eDiscovery, you can actually have that in place. So I know we have eDiscovery and we also have limitation hold. So for eDiscovery focuses on specific maybe dates, or let's say yeah, months, yeah, more like dates of the mail, maybe the emails. I'll just like show an example of how it looks like. While for limitation hold, it holds the entire mailbox. So I'm going to be creating a case. Like I said, I've already done one, but I will have to show how it's been done so that you would see. So I'm going to be creating a case, and probably the case would be about maybe identifying, okay, let me see, Vivian, legal case. So this is the case that you are creating. So you must definitely have a case before you can create a hold or searches. So yes, I've created a case, and first I'm going to create a hold. So this hold is I'm holding the user's mailbox. I'm preserving the content in the mailbox. So you give your description as always, and what location am I holding? So when you specify the location, you come over here to choose the user so that to be easier for me. So you can hold every user if you want to, but I just want to specify a single user. So if you want SharePoint sites, you can do that as well, but I don't have any business with that. I just want to hold the Exchange mailboxes. Then I would then yeah, so I would then choose conditions, dates. So I'm specifying. So for here, you can actually choose keywords if you have any keywords that you would want to go about, or you want to check from the user's email. But I just want to use dates. I'm going to specify that when I'm doing my search. So for dates, I'm just going to choose between 10th and 18th. I'm sorry, between 18th of October to 18th of November. That's the condition I want. So there are several conditions anyways. You can choose sender, retention label, participant type, received sender. You can choose which one you'd want, but I'll be choosing dates. Then I submit. So after you've created your hold, then you go over to create your new search. So this is where what exactly are you searching for? So here, Vivian, legal search. So exchange, I'm searching for one user. So I'm going to use the KQL editor. So this is how it's going to look like. So any email being sent to, let me use Vivian. Or from Vivian. Or I'm CC'd in any email that I'm CC'd in. Or any email I'm being blind copied in. So this is the search condition. So I'm saying that any email that is being sent to Vivian or from Vivian, or any email that is Vivian is CC'd in or I'm blind copied in, it should search according to that condition. So once I'm done, I just click on submit. All right. So remember, when creating an eDiscovery, make sure you create a case. So once you create a case, make sure you create a hold, and then you create your searches. Then once you're done with that, if you want to then go ahead, once the search is over, you then go ahead to export. So this is going to take a while to show up. Search statistics review. Okay, so I'm just going to use the one that I created to review, so you see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like once you're done with your search. It shows you every single search that is between that number November to from November as stated to, or whenever you search. So from this, I just searched. I had a long search on this. So you can then export your results. So before you can export your results, you have to make sure that your role or your permission. Let me show you how that is being done. So even though you are the global admin, if you don't have the organization management role, you would not be able to export any results. So you just go over to your organization management, and then you give yourself, yeah, so part of it, so I can be able to export results. So most times it takes time to load, but okay, it's loaded. So you see your review sample here, then you export your results. So you enable the duplication for this, include versions from SharePoint, Azure Words, and you then export. So it will just give you like a step-to-step guide on how you can go about the exporting. So it would take a while. So it's showing once you're done exporting like I did, you just click here. Let me go over it again. Choose action, click on export results, and choose all items excluding ones that have on. You can choose whichever you want. So once that is being done, you would go over to export, and then you see your file exporting. So it's going to like take a while. So once you're done exporting, you would download an application that would enable you to export the data into PSD forms or any other form that you would want. So I don't know if we have any question for this so that I can move forward. I think I have some minutes more.
Guys, we have any questions? One from Vivian. So before you're able to perform the export, what is it like the permission or the role required for the user to have, the admin to have?
Yeah, so like I said, the user must have the organization management role. So you just come over here and click on organization management, and then assign yourself, you the person, either you or the user that wants to export. So you have to assign yourself that role before you can go ahead to export. I don't know
Thank
if
you.
I'm clear. Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Shagun, you can go ahead and unmute, ask a question.
Thank you. You said we must create a ticket before we start creating the policy. I can't recall how to create a ticket.
Ticket? You mean a case?
Yeah,
A
I mean
case.
a case. I mean, sorry. Yes.
Oh, okay. So what you do is you go over to your let me try and again. So you go over to standard. Like I said, we have standard and premium. The premium is advanced, but I spoke mostly on standard. You just click on create a case. It's just for you to just give a name and a description. Once you're done, just click save. So once you've created that case, you just have to double tap on that case and then start creating holds and searches. Was I able to answer your question?
Yes, perfectly.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So moving forward. So we have information barrier. So with information barrier, it helps organizations to enforce policy that would prevent certain groups so maybe like to communicate with each other. For example, if you don't want legal team to communicate with marketing team, or if you don't want marketing team to communicate with the finance team, you can actually set that information barrier. So I know like maybe some of us might be asking, okay, so why is that? Why should we have information barrier? Why is it that we don't want the finance team to communicate with the legal team or the legal team to communicate with the finance team? There are some organizations like that, funny enough, and there are various reasons why this happens. So one of which can be like maybe a particular team have to work on confidential projects that shouldn't be shared with other parts of your company. So the information barrier will now help you ensure that these teams can't accidentally or intentionally share sensitive information with others. And also in terms of conflicts of interest, you don't maybe like an organization that's maybe for example a financial institution or maybe a law firm wants to prevent information exchange between groups working on different clients accounts to avoid conflict of interest. So you can use information barrier to enforce that. So creating information barrier, first we have to create a segment. So I'm going to create a new segment. I'm going to name it accounts. So these are accounts departments. And I'm going to use user group. So this user group would then, how do you want to segment them? So I'm going to use department. So I'm saying that anyone, for example, if you go to your user under departments, what do they have here? So if maybe like your users, your departments are very precise, you can then use this segment. You can actually use this department group filter, or you can even use let me use another one. You can use member of, so member of what group if you choose to, or you can even use user principal name. You can use location. You can use postal code. So if maybe this person's postal code is different, so you can use different thing according to how you want to filter it. So I'm just going to be using department. Sorry. So I'm going to say that if department is equals to accounts, so I'm saying those people that have accounts as their departments, remember under this. Then I click next and I submit. Then also we have to create, since we're doing for maybe let's use another one, maybe accounting. Okay, I think this is enough. So this is how you create your segments. So I did the same for legal, I did the same for marketing. Then let's go down to the policy creation. So I go over to policies and then I then click on create policy. So I named the policy. I don't want accounts to have any form of interaction with legal. So remember, when you're doing this, you have to also do it vice versa. So if you're doing account to legal, make sure you do legal to account as well. So you click next and you choose segments. So I'm going to be choosing account to legal. So it's going to be legal. You can choose as much as you want. I can choose marketing as well. I don't want accounting to. Okay, sorry, I think you can only choose one. Yeah. Then communication and collaboration. What do you want to do? I want to block them. So I want to block any form of communication and collaboration between accounts and legal team. So I'm going to block legal. So you're going to see here that it's saying communication over Teams and collaboration on SharePoint and OneDrive would be restricted based on this policy. So I'm blocking any form of communication between accounting and legal. So I'm going to activate the policy and submit. I think there's a mistake here. Just use account blocked legal. Yep. So if I want to do vice versa, that's legal to accounting as well. The segment will be legal, while the blocked would be account. So that's how you create your policy. Now, once you create the policy, make sure you use you apply all your policies. So after creating the policy, before the policy would work, you would have to apply the policy. Yeah, you get an error like this, but it would still run. So if it's still misbehaving, you can use partial, but this was what I was able to use, and I ran 2 policies today. So you can either use this or use partial. You can even use partial to create all of these segments and the rest, because I think the GUI is still having some cranky. It's still it's cranky in a way. So preferably you can actually use partial. So I don't know if we have any question with regards to this information barrier.
Guys, we have a question. All right, Joseph, please go ahead.
Hi, Vivian. Thank you for your session. It was actually very educating. So I remember that in searching from Microsoft Teams, when this is set up, I see that scope directory search needs to be turned on
Turned on, yes.
For it to
Yes.
work on Teams, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That
so
is so you
yeah.
can. Okay, go ahead, please.
So situations where the scope directory is turned off. So
Yeah.
in Teams, this will not be implemented. Am I correct?
Yes, it won't be implemented. You have to turn it on before it can be implemented.
For other services that is supposed to be applied, are there stuffs that we also need to turn on or turn off?
No. So it's just specifically this one. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I'm supposed to say that actually. So yeah, for this one in specific, you'd have to enable scope they call it scope directory search. So you just have to do that in your admin center under team settings. Let me see if my admin center would allow me to go through this. Yeah. I had this issue when doing this. I had to use another one. Let me see. Admin accounts. But anyways, you can do that on your Teams admin center under Teams settings. Once you click on Teams settings, you would see it's like I think there's one word they use. You just turn it on from there. I'm having issues signing into Teams, and I have accounts opened here. I think I'm done with this one.
I can just drop that in the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine then. Thank you.
No.
All right. So that's what we have here for information barrier. Then moving over to insider risks. So I'll just take little time to rush this up with records management. So for insider risks, so the main aim for insider risks is to help organizations to be able to detect and also investigate, and not just that, it helps to act on potential risky activities conducted by insiders. So insiders can be, we know, example, employees, contractors, business partners who have access to this organizational internal resources. So with insider risks, it helps to detect risky activities. For example, like maybe when an employee starts downloading a lot of confidential documents right before resigning, you know that, okay, why is this person doing this? So this can be flagged as suspicious. So there is an HR connector that you can use to detect that. But I'm just going to show you briefly on using sensitive info. I'm trying to edit this one here. All right. Let me create a new one because it gives more details. So creating an insider risk management. So there are different templates, like we all know. So it's just left for you to practice and also research more on it. So we have data theft. So this is the HR data connector I'm talking about. So once you have the HR connector connected, so it's periodically imports resignation and termination dates details for your organizations. So you have the data theft, which is data theft by departing users. You have the data leaks. You have the data leaks by risky users. You have data leaks by priority users. And you have security policy. These are still under previews, but you can still try them out. So this is under Defender for Endpoints. And you have this and the rest of it, which are, so once you're setting this up, there's always a prerequisite for it. So for data leaks, you need a DLP policy. For data theft, you need HR data connector. And so these are the triggering events. So the HR connector imports termination or resignation dates for users, and also user accounts deleted from Azure Active Directory. Then activities detected would be downloading files from SharePoint, printing files, copying data to personal cloud storage services. And data leaks, we have DLP policies and triggering events. Our user performs selected exfiltration activities that exceed specific thresholds. And also user performs an activity matched specified DLP policy. So let's go ahead to create one. So we're going to be using data leaks. So we're going to include all users and groups. And then I want to prioritize content. So choose what to prioritize. So I would choose to prioritize sensitive info types. You can choose other ones if you want to, then you set it up. But I'll be choosing for this lesson, I'll be choosing sensitive info types. And then I would click next and then choose the info types. So I'm going to be choosing bank. So I'll choose international banking account number. I'll be choosing US account number. Also, I'll be choosing credit cards. Oops. So I want to get alerts for all activities, not just the one that is my priority content, which is this one. I want to get alerts from all activities. So once I click next, then I'm going to use user performs an exfiltration activity. So that's the one I'm choosing. Then I'm going to select my DLP policy that I've created. So I might just decide to select credits. That's if I want to go for user matches a DLP data prevention policy, or I decide to choose user performs an exfiltration activity. So any of which you decide to choose, if you decide to choose this one, you go for it. If you decide to choose this one, you go for it. So let me choose this one because I know I chose the other one in my other. So once you're done, just click next, 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 and then next, and then the sequence detection. So you want to choose all the indicators that are turned on. So I tried, because I could see that the other ones were not turned on. I tried turning on the indicators, told me that it would take about some minutes to turn on. So either ways, you can turn this on and then click on next. So you decide whether to use default or custom indicator threshold. So I decide to use default threshold. So threshold is going to be the low, medium, or high as described. And once you're done, you just make sure you look at your you preview your settings before you then go ahead to submit. So once you submit, then you have your policy. So I couldn't get logs for this. Yeah, so I couldn't get logs for this, maybe because of when this was created. It was created today. So I'm thinking like 24 hours. In the next 24 hours, I'll be able to see logs associated with this. So with this, you can get your you can see what user is risky. You can get reports. You can get, so after this is created, the policy is created, you have to create a notice template. So the notice template would send, like, once there is a once this is detected, this will be sent to the user. So you can create yours, so you give it template name. Send from. So where am I sending from? I'm sending from my admin account. And if you want to CC anybody, fine, put a subject and then put a message body. Or if you can see here, I just made it look cute. I just use HTML tags and the rest. So that is what you have. And then if you want to receive alerts, or sorry, if you have any form of detection, you receive alerts from here. Your users here who are risky would show up here, and the risky level as well. So I don't know if we're clear with this so that I can move forward to this. So this is going to be the last so far. Any
Do you have
question?
any questions? Do you have any question? We can move.
All right. Okay, so the last but not the least is records management. So so what is records management all about? Okay, so let's say for example, you're given a job to keep an official list of all the health insurance information that your co-workers have given to the company. So this list needs to be correct and safe just in case maybe the company is asking for maybe health insurance and some other things relating to health insurance. You'll be able to just bring out that document without you maybe looking for those documents. So with this, you'll be able to have more like a record being kept in a particular location. So you can just export the data. So with records management, it gives you that leverage to do that. So to create a record management, first you have to create a label under your file plan. So let me just use the one I created so that so once you create once you click on create label, it brings you into this tab and you give your name, the name of the label you want to create. So with this label, it allows your HR department to be able to label content containing any health insurance information that your employees maybe if they decide to provide this information to you, you'll be able to label it so that once they need, maybe the management needs it, to just pull it out very easy. So you're going to specify the name, which is employee data, then reference ID. You can give any unique ID you want. Then business function, you choose human resources category, choose recruiting and hiring, or whatever you choose to take. Then provision citation, we only have few. So I'll be going with health insurance. And others, if you notice, I didn't specify anything. So we'll move forward. So we are saying that we want to, the settings I chose is to retain items forever or for a specific period of time. Then next, it asks you how long do you want to retain items for. I would say 7 years. And starts the retention period based on when the items are created. Then you click next. Then under here, during the retention period, so once the items are retained, even so, if you retain the items, even if users delete these items, yes, it will still be retained. You choose that. Then after it passes the retention period, what happened? The items automatically delete, or you can probably um, choose whatever you want from here. So for me, I chose delete items automatically. So once you do that, then you have created your label. So just going through it again. just firstly create a label. Your reference ID, any unique ID you choose to have. Then once you're done filling everything out, if you don't have provision, citation, anything, fine. You move forward and then choose how long you want to retain. And if I choose to stay forever, so even though retain items, even if users delete them, yes, and then create your label. So once you are done creating your label, you have to publish it so that users will be able to see it on their Outlook. So I click on publish, I choose labels to publish, and if I saved that label I created, I would publish it, but let's choose something else. I click on next. If you have administrative unit, you can choose. So you can choose either you want this retention policy to be adaptive or static. So for static, it will choose locations containing the contents you want to retain. So let's choose static. And you then select locations if you want Exchange, SharePoint, and the rest. You give it a unique number, unique name, and next, and then submit. So to check, I don't know if the one I created is already available, but let's check it out. So I click on the email, particular email, advanced options, assign policy, and yeah, it should be available here, but I'm guessing it's not available yet because I saw that it would take about 24 hours for it to come up. So you should see the policy here. So once you just click on it, you would see it work. So what it does is if you assign the policy and once you assign the policy, try to delete it and see if you get any message. I tried it though, but I've not seen the policy yet, so I can't really say what would have or what will happen. So once you have this created, you get to see your label policies, and also if you want to also publish it here, you can also go ahead to do that. And then you have events. If there are any events, you'd see everything here. So you can also do a policy lookup. So if you want to search for a specific user, you can actually do that right here as well. So that's for records management. So you can still go through you can still go through the documents on records management to know how it works. So for now, this is just the basic on how you can actually create a label for this purpose for this purpose and publish the label so that you can be able to retain some documents and keep it for recording purposes. Yeah, so I don't know if there is any question concerning this because I can see we have limited time and I'm sure everyone is tired.
Yeah, do you have questions, guys? Do you have questions?
All right, so if we don't have questions, I just want to give like more like a differences between insider risk management, communication compliance, and DLP, because I'm sure even listening to it, it might be confusing. They all like work together, or will I say they all work alike, but they're actually different. So for insider risks, the focus is more of um, identifying and also mitigating risks associated with actions taken by insiders within the organization, such as we have our employees and contractors or business partners. So, giving an example of a use case, let's say, for example, um, um, an employee is downloading large amounts of sensitive data. With the insider risks, it actually detects that that's would I say yes, that's scenario, and it would actually indicate like there is a potential breach, and it also show you like a list of risky users as well. Then for communication compliance, the focus is more like is aiming at monitoring and also regulating communications within the environment, so that everyone would be able to comply with legal and also regulatory and regulatory standards in the organization. Then a use case scenario can be, for instance, you identify instances of harassment or bullying in company communications, and maybe you report to the management and you tell them, oh, this person is bullying me via chat and all, and um, you as the admin, you just go through your communication compliance report and you see all of those things there based on the policies you set. So if maybe there is inappropriate text, inappropriate pictures, or maybe some information or some things that is not meant to be shared, you can actually see that there. Then for DLP, the focus is to prevent the accidental or intentional leakage or loss of sensitive data. Then we all know the use case is about preventing an employee from accidentally sending an email containing maybe customer personal data or some information that is not meant to be seen by others to someone outside the organization. So that's more like the brief run through on this. So yeah, that's it for today. I don't know if we have any further question. Please go ahead to ask.
Hello guys, the floor is open for questions. Thank you so much, Vivian, for a wonderful, insightful session today. So guys, the floor is open. If you have questions, feel free to ask the questions before we actually round up for today. So our next week's session will actually be our final sessions for our weekly meetup for the year, because the leadership team have some things planning to deal of December. We'll be having Ignite after party in December, and we also have some other things we are planning. But the floor is open for questions. Feel free to ask your questions. Do we have question, guys? You're quiet today. Is it an information overload?